Before we start this episode, here's a quick preview of what's coming. In U.S. Citizenship 101, you'll learn about American history and culture, facts that will help you pass the citizenship test, and enjoy more free videos like this when you subscribe to PragerUkids.com. Welcome to U.S. Citizenship 101. What should every citizen know about the American system of government? Let's get into it. America's founders feared the idea of any one individual or group having too much governing power. So, they came up with a brilliant solution: divide the government into distinct but related parts. How? Or as it's asked on the citizenship test, what stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful? It's a concept called separation of powers, or checks and balances, that's baked into the very structure of our government. Separation of powers works at the federal or national level of government by dividing responsibilities into three distinct branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. Each branch checks or restrains the others through sort of a cooperative competition, ensuring that no one part of the government becomes too powerful. Each branch is granted specific enumerated powers. They are listed or enumerated clearly in the Constitution, so that everyone knows what these powers are and knows that the government cannot do anything that isn't listed in the Constitution. What is each branch responsible for? Let's start with the executive branch. At the head of the executive branch is the President of the United States. And you do know who the current president is, right? You probably should if you want to pass the citizenship test. Every 4 years in November, we hold a national election to pick a president and vice president for a new term. You should probably know who the current vice president is too. As the nation's leader, the president enforces laws, directs national defense, and serves as the commander-in-chief of the military. The president is supported by a cabinet, a group of advisors responsible for agencies of the federal government. In the cabinet, there's the Secretary of Agriculture, Commerce, War, Labor, Energy, and more who help run the business of the executive branch. Now, if the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? There's something called the line of succession to account for this unlikely scenario. We start with the vice president as the next in line. But what if they can't do it? Then, the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives is next in line. Hold on, Speaker? House of Representatives? They're part of our next branch of government. The legislative branch, or Congress, is responsible for making federal laws. America's National Legislative Assembly is made of two parts: the House of Representatives, led by the Speaker we just mentioned, and the Senate. So why is the branch of government split into two? It goes back to our founders' debate over how states should be represented in Congress. Should national legislators be equally assigned to each state, or appointed by the number of people in each state? You can see why some states with fewer people would want the former, while states with more people would want the latter. So, the founders came up with an elegant solution. Each U.S. state has the same number of senators, but on the other side of Congress, in the House, the number of representatives from each state is based on the population of that state. In this way, both large states and small states have a voice in Congress without either group fully dominating the other. For its part, the Senate has 2 members or senators from each state. With 50 U.S. states, that tallies up to 100 senators in all. Who does each senator represent? And for how many years do they serve? Each senator is elected for a 6-year term to represent all the people of his or her state. Do you know who your state senators are? Over in the House, there are a lot more voting members, 435 of them in fact, who each serve 2-year terms. And do you remember, why do some states have more representatives than other states? As we discussed, they simply have more people that live there. Do you know who your representative is? All right, in addition to the executive and legislative branches, we also have the judicial branch, or the judiciary. What does the judicial branch do? They're responsible for interpreting the nation's laws and settling legal disputes in court. Now, there are several courts at the federal level, but the highest court in the country is the U.S. Supreme Court. 9 justices serve on the Supreme Court, with one serving as the head or Chief Justice. For good measure, you should probably know the name of the Chief Justice too. Remember that idea of checks and balances? How is it that one branch of government balances or checks the other two? A good way to see this in action is with the creation of laws. Making federal laws starts with Congress in the legislative branch. A law starts as a bill in either the House or Senate. And even if both the House and Senate vote in favor of that bill, it doesn't become a law until the president signs it. In fact, the president can even veto the bill, preventing it from becoming a law at that time. But what if that law violates the Constitution? Who is going to review and explain that law? Yep. In addition to resolving disputes not involving particular laws, it falls to the judicial branch to check what the legislative and executive branch have enacted into law. The founders were wise enough to bake in this idea of separation of powers, not only at the federal level, but between the federal government and state governments too. For example, the federal government and not state governments can print money, declare war, create an army, and make treaties with other countries. By contrast, state governments are the ones responsible for providing their citizens with education, protection, safety, and approving land use, among other things. And pro tip, if you're gonna take the citizenship test, you might want to know a few more things about your specific state, such as who your governor is and where your state capital is located. Okay, let's recap. What did we learn in test prep today about the American system of government? We discussed how the founders instilled separation of powers among 3 key branches of the federal government: executive, legislative, and judicial. We learned about the key leaders and institutions in each branch, from the president, vice president, and cabinet to Congress and the Supreme Court. And we saw how this balance set up between federal and state governments, each with different powers and responsibilities, has been the cornerstone of American governance since the nation's founding, one that remains vital in ensuring that all our voices are heard. Hey, you did it! Whether you're studying for the citizenship test or simply brushing up on what it means to be an American, you're now that much more informed on the things every U.S. citizen should know. I'm Selina Lewis for PragerU. Can you pass the U.S. citizenship test? Find out now at PragerU.com or click the link below to test your knowledge.